Good morning, everyone. We still have some stragglers joining us, but we'll get the program started as we do have some really exciting speakers and conversations to have today. My name is Sarah McDonald. I'm Executive Director of Life Science Cares, and on behalf of the Life Science Cares Board and Board of Advisors and staff, it is my real pleasure to welcome you to this very exciting event, our kickoff of the summer 2021, the class of 2021, Project Onramp's third year in operations. We're excited to hear today from key partners who've gotten the program up to where it is now, from some folks who participated, and we're really excited to introduce this year's cohort, which is 127 students strong. Just a couple of housekeeping items. We would encourage you to keep yourself on mute to ensure we don't interrupt too much of the program. And if there are questions, if you want to give shout outs, feel free to use the chat function and we'll see what we can do. It is my pleasure to turn over the microphone to some very special guests that we have with us today to open our program. Secretary Mike Keneally is Secretary of Housing and Economic Development, and in that role is responsible for advancing the Baker-Polito's administration agenda to create economic opportunity for residents, collaborative leadership in communities, an environment that supports job creation and business growth, and new housing for residents through targeted investments. And most recently, he's been doing all of that in a pandemic. At Life Science Cares, we know Secretary Keneally's commitment to job creation and business development across the entire Commonwealth and appreciate his leadership in our sector as the co-chair of the board of the Massachusetts Life Science Center. Thanks for joining us, Secretary.
Well, thank you, Sarah, and great to be with you all this morning. It's such a privilege to be with the kind of industry leaders of today and tomorrow. I was thrilled to learn that upwards of 120 students have been matched for this program through our Project Onramp. This initiative represents, I think, so many special attributes of our state. We're focused on a key sector of the innovation economy. We're trying to grow our workforce talent pipeline. We're trying to increase our diversity of that workforce, and we're doing it in a very collaborative way. So it's really, I think, a really special event today and a nice milestone for all of us to celebrate. For the interns and the students joining today, you should know you're in a state where you'll always be able to put the education you're earning right now to work in a number of thriving and fulfilling careers. We're a world leader in innovation in so many sectors, perhaps most prominently in life sciences. So there are very, very promising career opportunities for you. Life sciences has always been important for us. We are the global leader in life sciences. And it's been so interesting to watch the focus on the life sciences ecosystem here in Massachusetts during the pandemic. And again, the heightened awareness of our leadership position in this very exciting sector and the career opportunities that will manifest themselves. You know, as always, we think about growing our innovation sectors in a way that all of our regions can benefit, all of our communities can benefit, all of our citizens can benefit. And that's why we've had this focus on regional diversity and equity for a long time in all of our programs. For the companies providing the internships, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is really a very important contribution. I'm always just so happy to see the contributions made by our innovative companies around the state, not only in their innovations and creating jobs, but also their collaborative nature and the recognition that we're all part of something pretty big here. It's something very collaborative. And so thank you so much to the companies for your contributions. As Sarah mentioned, I serve as co-chair of the board of the Mass Life Sciences Center. The Life Sciences Center has been a leader in this workforce development work for a very long time. And again, in particular, trying to drive a more diverse talent pipeline. We have, over the course of our history, deployed about $30 million to provide 4,800 internships and apprenticeships to college and high school students at more than 800 companies and research institutions around the state. We provided about $18 million in STEM equipment and professional development funding in around 200 high schools and middle schools around Massachusetts. At the high school level, we have an apprenticeship program, an apprenticeship challenge, which provides lab training and internships for students, particularly designed to serve underrepresented and low-income students in communities like Brockton, New Bedford, and others. And what makes this work so impactful, as always, is collaboration and partnership, like Project Onramp. And so we are a global leader in life sciences because of the contributions of the Life Sciences Center, but also because of stakeholders like MassBio, MassBioEd, life sciences cares, and bottom line. So to the newest cohorts of interns readying for this new endeavor into life sciences, I wish you good luck. You should know that you have a champion and a cheerleader in Governor Baker and our whole administration. We're committed to continuing to be a partner in providing these opportunities, investing at every level and every step to make sure we have the talent, jobs, innovation, and infrastructure to continue to lead. And like in life sciences, like in so many other sectors, what separates us from the pack is our talent. We're a state that's all about talent. We've got the top workforce, continues to attract innovative companies of all kinds around the state. And each of you is making our workforce in our life sciences sector even stronger. So thank you to all for being here today, and look forward to seeing what comes out of this great program. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and please pass on our deepest thanks to the governor and the whole team of everything that you have done to support our industry to grow as it has, and as we continue to grow. We are truly grateful.
All right.
Now, for someone like me who also dabbles in Massachusetts politics, I'm very excited to announce our next guest, a celebrity in my world. Marty Meehan is the 27th president and the first undergraduate alum to lead the 5-campus University of Massachusetts system. A former member of the U.S. House of Representatives, he was elected to the UMass presidency after 8 successful years as chancellor of his alma mater, UMass Lowell, during which he led the university to top-tier national status. At his presidential inauguration, President Meehan pledged to fight for UMass, which he called, quote, the most important institution in Massachusetts in the critical areas of social mobility and economic growth. And we could not agree more. Thank you, President Meehan, for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much, Sarah, and good morning to everyone. It's great that so many people have joined. I want to thank Secretary Mike Keneally for his deep commitment to the life sciences and to the Massachusetts Life Sciences Center, and also his commitment to the University of Massachusetts. The Baker administration has been so supportive of us, but the Secretary has as well. I also want to acknowledge my friend Ken Turner for his outstanding leadership in directing the growth and development of the life science industry, which is really a cornerstone of the Massachusetts economy. I think both of these leaders recognize the economic impact of the University of Massachusetts on the state-wide economy. I also want to recognize Project Onramp Class Virginia Berger of the New Equilibrium Biosciences for creating so many great learning opportunities for so many students. I really believe in experiential learning, internships, and co-ops. As Sarah mentioned, I spent 8 years at the University of Massachusetts Lowell, and we developed a series of internships, experiential learning opportunities for our students. And it's a great way for universities to partner with business and industry, which I think is absolutely critical to have that kind of partnership. And internships, not only is it great for our students to go back to the classroom having some sense of the real world, but also for companies to get an opportunity to work with young people. In many instances, great internship programs result in companies hiring people who are well equipped and qualified to work at those companies. So that's why the University of Massachusetts is so fully engaged in this program. Since the program was launched in 2019, half of the 200 Project Onramp students have been UMass students. In fact, when we discussed the larger Life Sciences Center decade-long internship, I think there have been 4,800 students who have been served. 800 UMass students who participated, nearly double the number of any other university. So we're excited about it. We graduate 19,000 students every year. They go into the Commonwealth and help push the economy. More than 320,000 UMass alumni are now living and working in the state. And in addition to our amazing 75,000 students at UMass, our world-class scientists conduct $687 million worth of research, with more than half of that being in the life sciences. Now, Massachusetts is a big research center, obviously, but $687 million puts us just behind Harvard and MIT. So our students participate in that research and state-of-the-art facilities all over our system. I want to mention a few of them. the cryo electron microscopy core facility, which is at the UMass Medical School. They've trained hundreds of scientists from the region's research universities. The Institute for Applied Life Sciences at UMass Amherst designed to advance translational research projects, and they train students for industry-relevant careers. One of my favorites that I helped develop at Lowell is the Massachusetts Medical Device Development Center. It's a joint partnership between UMass Lowell and the UMass Medical School in Worcester that helps medical device and biotech startups bridge the gap between the idea and the market. And it's been very successful in terms of creating more companies. The Venture Development Center at UMass Boston, which supports promising entrepreneurs and talented UMass Boston students, preparing them for careers in venture capital-backed companies. And UMass Dartmouth Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, which serves as an incubator for emerging companies in the South Coast. But it is the students, really, that bring these fresh, innovative ideas, new perspectives, and incredible energy to all of our enterprises that we're celebrating today. One only need look at the growing diversity of UMass student body to see that the future workforce of Massachusetts needs to be more diverse, will be more diverse, and UMass is very delighted to play an integral role in that, shaped by our academic and Project Onramp experiences. High-achieving UMass graduates like Sungai Jackson, who you will meet shortly, will help determine the future of Massachusetts. So this is so critically important to the future of the Commonwealth. I want to thank everyone for being here, diversifying the Life Science Center, particularly at this moment in our history, closing the gap, the opportunity gap. That's a priority of UMass. It's also a priority for Ken Turner and the Life Sciences Center. It's also a priority of the Baker-Polito administration and Secretary Keneally. So I'm delighted to see so many industry partnerships here. And this is really important to the future of the Commonwealth, also very important to the future of business and industry in Massachusetts. So thank you very much for inviting me, and look forward to participating.
Thank you,
Sarah,
President.
if I can just jump in and add my thanks and acknowledgement for all that President Meehan at UMass has done. The president also serves on the Life Sciences Center board, and we would not have the Life Sciences Center and the Life Sciences sector would not nearly be what it is without his contributions, the contributions in UMass. So many thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Secretary.
Almost as importantly, Life Science Cares wouldn't have our summer Project Onramp intern without UMass Amherst. Our newest intern, Anna Dow, is a student there and has hit the ground running with us for this summer. So we're big believers in the potential of UMass grads and students. Thank you to our special guest for joining us. I'm gonna turn the floor over to Lila Neal, who, for anybody who's been involved in Project Onramp, you know her well. Lila is the heart and mind behind all of the matches that we make in Project Onramp as the program manager of Onramp. She's gonna tell us a little bit about the program, its mission, and how we got to where we are.
Hi, everyone. It's so incredible to see the turnout here today. As a program that just started 3 years ago, we've grown in leaps and bounds only because of the support of all of you here, especially the life science companies that have stepped up with a real commitment to our mission. And this mission is simple. It's to introduce undergraduates from low-income backgrounds to the wealth of opportunity that exists in the life sciences industry. While the industry has always taken interns, they tend to come from the same places. Project Onramp is changing that by working with companies to open a new pipeline of interns into summer jobs. Research by the Boston Foundation and others has shown that a student that has an internship or several during college has a significantly higher rate of finding a BA level job after graduating. Our hope and the ultimate goal of Project Onramp is that these students, through their summer experiences with the companies represented here today, will go on to look for jobs in the industry when they graduate. The way Project Onramp works is very simple. We work with companies to identify and reserve one or more internships for Project Onramp students. What do I mean by reserve a spot? We would like Project Onramp students to be hired by competing with other talented students from similar backgrounds. There are plenty of affluent students who have access to internships and who have had many unpaid experiences which help them to get hired into paid jobs. At Onramp, we're trying to provide the opportunities to our pool of students to acquire those same relevant skills. These internships are in labs, but also across all other areas of the company. We have almost every department represented in our cohort this year. We then work with our student support partners like Bottom Line and Thrive Scholars to identify a curated batch of resumes for each position. And from that point on, the interview process, hiring, and onboarding is all done by the company. We're essentially a matchmaker for talented students and our partner companies. Once students start their jobs, we also provide extensive summer professional development with sessions on career skills like networking, giving and receiving feedback, working in teams, building confidence, and many other topics that interns have told us that they care about. Now, as you know, the program is 3 years old. We launched in summer 2019 with 52 students from 16 colleges working at 30 companies. Now, I know that this is a small sample size, but the early results from this cohort are really promising. For 81% of this first cohort, this internship was the first experience of the life science industry. And at the end of the summer, 94% of the students reported that they would consider a career in the industry on graduation. Now, what happened when the seniors in this cohort actually graduated? First of all of them got full-time jobs in the middle of a pandemic, so that's a win. And half the seniors went on to work in the life sciences industry. Our second year, with a goal of 75 interns and then a global pandemic, we went forward with 37 interns working mostly remotely from 11 colleges at 22 biotech and pharma companies. The results from student surveys mirrored exactly what happened in year one, with almost 100% of students saying that the internship made them want to have a career in the industry. Now, as we collect data about the seniors who just graduated this year, we'll be sharing those numbers, and I have no doubt that many will be working in our industry. I think one of the most important data points from past years is around professional networks. As we all know, professional networks are critical to building a career. The students who come into Project Onramp really don't have a professional network. And each year they leave with 97% saying that they significantly increased their network. Not to mention that networking is one of their favorite parts of the summer. So this is an outgoing bunch. Now, I've told you about the really great student feedback that we have collected by our partner Bottom Line, but I want to also briefly mention the feedback from the companies that we've worked with in 2019 and 2020. In surveys sent out to supervisors, we found that students have met or exceeded expectations 100% of the time in both years. We've had many companies return to partner with us, and we think that's probably the best indicator of the potential of the program. Honestly, going into 2021, we didn't know what to expect, and we planned for 75 interns. Because of the commitments of our corporate partners and the hustle of our interns, I'm excited to say that we have 128 students hired, representing 32 colleges and working across 70 different companies. We expect that this year and in subsequent years, this program will yield a treasure trove of data about what students value in an internship, the departments and company cultures that are most attractive to underrepresented students, the skills that students need to have to be employable in our industry, and many other things. We believe that this pipeline of students into life sciences companies is really robust, and our hope is that because of their demonstrated ability, these are students who will someday rise to positions of leadership in our industry. As we head into the summer, I want to thank everyone here for their commitment to diversifying the internship pipeline. And I'm so excited for our interns, most of whom are in their very first week of work. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here to celebrate with us.
Thank you so much, Lila. And on behalf of all of us who have the opportunity to celebrate today, thank you for all you've done to make these matches and get to know these incredible young people. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to Ken Turner from the Massachusetts Life Science Center, who's going to moderate a conversation with some of our best ambassadors for the program, our alumni, students, and supervisors. Ken is president and CEO of the Massachusetts Life Science Center. He directs and oversees the center's operations, investment strategy, programs, and partnerships. He's previously held leadership positions with Massport, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Veterans Services, AOL Time Warner, Hallmark Cards, and Hasbro Toys. Ken has been an incredible partner, as has everyone at the Life Science Center, Ryan and Cheryl and Jennifer, to support the program right from its earliest inception. And we are so excited to let him see this conversation and share our success with you. Welcome, Ken.
Morning, Sarah. Thank you for that generous and kind introduction, and good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you, and happy Friday. There's no better way to start the morning than to be talking about opportunities that we have in the life sciences here in our great Commonwealth. But first, I want to thank Sarah and the team for organizing such a terrific event. Second, I'm grateful to be sharing the stage this morning with my co-board chair, Secretary Keneally, and my esteemed board member, President Marty Meehan. I can tell you personally that the Commonwealth is in terrific hands with these two gentlemen at the leadership positions that they hold, and that the center is well positioned for new levels of excellence, knowing that I have the two of them in my corner and supporting the center. And I thank you personally for all of your guidance and support. As Sarah mentioned, I have the privilege of serving as the president and the CEO of the Massachusetts Life Sciences Center. We are an economic development and investment authority with the mission of supporting the growth and the development of the life sciences here in the Commonwealth. Put another way, me and my team are part of an organization that serves as the hub of the Massachusetts life sciences ecosystem. As already been noted, we are a proud partner of Project Onramp. It's one of the initiatives I'm most excited to be involved with during my tenure here at the center. I'm still fairly new, but for me, the collaborative spirit of this sector is one of the things that continues to stand out as an obvious strength. And Project Onramp is, of course, an exemplary example of the output of that spirit. With industry support partners like Life Science Cares, MassBio, MassBioEd, Mass Biomedical initiatives, alongside student partners in Thrive Scholars, and the bottom line, we are well positioned to continue to accomplish great things. One of the charges of the Life Science Center is to continuing to meet the moment for our future life science workforce. To accomplish this, our strategy at its core is embracing the ideals of diversity, equity, and inclusion, but also leveraging the absolute best of what our Commonwealth is and can be by continuing to invest in the power of experiential learning opportunities for those who have far too often been underrepresented in this sector. It's why I'm proud to announce our continued support of Project Onramp with a $25,000 funding in grants, so that we can continue to match our top talent in Massachusetts with paid internships at life science companies here throughout the state. And I'm excited to be joined by an industry leader in Virginia Berger and a future leader in Sungai Jackson. I have the pleasure of helping to lead a conversation with both of them this morning, but let me tell you all a little bit more about them before we get started. Sungai Jackson is a Project Onramp alum, and just last month graduated from UMass Amherst with a degree in biochemistry and molecular biology. Sungai spent the summer of 2019 as a discovery chemistry intern at Toledo Biosciences. And in exciting recent news, Sungai was just chosen as a Visor Breakthrough Fellow. Congratulations, Sungai. The Breakthrough Fellowship Program is a first of its kind initiative from Visor to advance students and early career colleagues of Black and African American descent, Hispanic descent, and Native American descent, with the goal of developing 100 fellows by 2025. Virginia Berger is co-founder and CEO of New Equilibrium Biosciences, a pioneering life science company created to discover and develop new medicines for life-threatening cancers and neurological diseases. She is a firm believer in creating opportunities for young people in the life sciences industry and has served as a Project Onramp host and supervisor. And I might add, we here at the center are proud to have Virginia as a previous awardee of our Mass Next Gen program, which supports women-led life science companies. Good morning, Virginia. So let's jump right into the conversation. So question one, I'm going to put this to you, Sungai, and it's a hard one, so you better buckle up. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank Project Onramp, Sarah, and Leela for inviting me here today. I'm really great to be here, and I hope that some of my experience can help out the new interns in achieving your goals this summer. So my name is Sungai Jackson. I was actually born and raised in Zimbabwe, and about 11 years ago, I came to the US, and I've been living here ever since. So I just graduated from UMass Amherst, like Ken said, and I majored in biochemistry and molecular biology with a minor in psychology. And while I was at UMass, I was a research assistant in a biology lab, and I was a resident assistant, as well as participated in a STEM ambassadors program and the Black Student Union. I have also been a part of Bottom Line since high school, and I also participated in Project Onramp in the first year, summer of 2019. So throughout college, I actually went to Boston Line Academy, which has amazing opportunities in interning. So that's when I started my internships. And I first started working at the Boston Public Health Commission through their BAHEC program. And through there, I was able to transition to the Dana-Farber and Harvard Cancer Center CURE program. And that summer is when I first actually started research, and I learned a lot about life science companies and biotech because we had the opportunity to have a fellowship at the Biogen Community Lab. And then from that summer, the summer after my senior year of high school, I interned at Sanofi Genzyme, and I got to actually interact and learn a lot more about what life science and pharmaceutical companies are like, and get to be in that field and actually see what phase 3 drug trials go through. So that was very, very interesting and quite eye-opening. After that, I went to UMass, and while I was at UMass, the summer after my first year of UMass, despite being in a biology lab, in a biology like internship sort of situation, I was not able to secure a summer internship because it's quite difficult, especially in the first year when you have so many people that you're competing with, and not having access to a strong network made it really difficult. So I was super grateful when in the summer of 2019, I was given the opportunity to participate in Project Onramp. And I discovered this opportunity through Bottom Line, which I've been a part of since high school. And Project Onramp was great for me because it allowed me to be flexible and still continue to focus more on my studies while I'm just able to kind of work on my resume, to give them my resume, and they're able to, you know, provide my resume to these amazing companies, and they're able to either pick me for an interview process and to go through that. And I was super grateful that that summer I actually was offered 6 offers, and I ended up picking Kaleido Biosciences. And that interview process was quite extensive. I remember it was my first time having a 4-hour interview and interviewing with about 5 different people for 30-minute segments. And it taught me a lot of things, but I got to know the team that I was going to be working with. And I was super grateful for that because it allowed me to have a better mindset about who I was going to be working with and make the best decision for myself in terms of what internship would help me. At Kaleido, and Kaleido Bioscience is a life science company that is focused on like a chemistry-driven approach in creating microbiome metabolic therapies to treat diseases and help improve health. And I had never worked in a chemistry-driven lab before, so that's why I ended up picking Kaleido Biosciences, and it worked out really great. It taught me that I didn't want to be the organic chemistry lab, but I was able to learn a lot about, organic chemistry techniques and synthesizing very unique glycans. And that was quite challenging for me, which is what I'm always looking for. I'm always looking for something new and quite challenging. So I was very, very happy to be a part of that. And then summer of 2020, due to COVID, I was not able to get an internship, but I was secured to work with Beam Therapeutics. But obviously due to COVID, I was not able to do that. But regardless, I'm super, super grateful to be able to start with Pfizer soon. And I'm currently just working at the Broad Institute doing your COVID tests for the summer. So that's who I am.
Thank you for that. What a terrific start to the conversation. And you answered the question that I was going to ask you next, which is what did you learn at Kaleido? And a very important lesson, I think, in anybody's career is learning what you don't want to do as well as what you want to do. So good for you for having that experience. And so the next question goes to Virginia. And Virginia, good morning. It's a pleasure to meet you. You stepped up to host an on-ramp intern in challenging circumstances, to say the least, because you brought them on during the pandemic. Why did you and New Equilibrium make that commitment, and share with us what you got out of it?
Yeah, so New Equilibrium was very new in 2020. We launched in October 2019, and the team was just me and my co-founder all winter, and we hired our very first employee in May, and then through Massachusetts Life Sciences Center, hired 2 interns for the summer. And we didn't really have a choice but to find something that worked during the pandemic, because we needed people doing things. And so I spoke with Lilith about what our needs were, and through our conversation decided that having somebody help build our website would be very useful. And so we hired a graphics design intern, and it was just incredible because there's so much going on at a startup. And then we had somebody who was dedicated to building our website and making a logo. And so everything about the company's outward appearance comes from our Project Onramp intern, who we are so grateful for. And then she was just so helpful that we kept her on for the fall, and she's still with us now because she keeps doing wonderful things. And she made our investor deck. So we just raised $10 million through RA Capital, and that's thanks to our investor deck partially. And so we're really, we're just really grateful to have had found her. And I think for me, it was very important to have a Project Onramp intern, because when I started my PhD, and then all throughout PhD, I would talk to people within my program and other people who I met. And so many people's parents also had PhDs, and my mom has a PhD. And I realized that people who know about PhDs are going out and getting PhDs, but people who don't aren't for some reason. And so I wanted to be a part of something that would bring students in who wouldn't know about it otherwise. And hearing what Lilo said is exactly like what I was thinking, but she said it much more nicely. But that was what we wanted to do, to provide a way for students to know that, yes, these are PhDs, this is what it is, this is what it means to go to graduate school, and be able to enter the life science industry without already having a parent from that background.
No, thanks for sharing that. And that's a terrific point you made, Virginia, about this notion about you gotta see it to achieve it, right? If you've never met an architect, then you can't be an architect, right? You never met, if you never met an astronaut, then you don't think you can be an astronaut. So you're spot on. And thank you for, providing those opportunities for young men and young women to come into this field and recognize that they too can be part of life sciences. So it's because of leaders like you that Massachusetts leads. So thank you. So the next question goes back to Sungai. Based on your internship experiences, you've now begun a career in life sciences with Pfizer's Breakthrough Fellowship. And again, congratulations to you, and equally as important, congratulations to Pfizer for such a terrific program. So what interests you about the industry, And what are your hopes for the future?
So I think that I've always loved science. I actually started doing science when I was back in middle school. I actually participated in the science fair, the Massachusetts Science Fair. And I feel like I fell in love with science because of how extremely broad and diverse the amount of things that you can do are. And like science is always ever changing, and there's always something new to learn. And you can never learn all there is to science. And I feel like that is one of the biggest things that I love about the industry, is that I always have something new to learn and something to challenge me and look forward to. So that is one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to stay in the industry and why I've chosen to go into science. I want to participate and have the ability to work on these life-changing therapies and medicines, especially for a lot of low-income communities, and be able to partner with multiple organizations across Massachusetts, especially in Boston. There's so many opportunities and the ability to be able to have the power to bring change to the communities that I live in currently. And I really look forward to exploring new avenues and bringing innovative ideas to science. I'm always looking for the next thing to do. I don't like to stay in one spot at a time. So I felt like, life science was the best thing for me because I have the opportunity to do that.
Terrific. Thank you for that. So as Sarah mentioned, previous to joining the center a few months ago, I had the pleasure and the privilege to serve as the director of diversity, equity, and inclusion and compliance for the Port Authority for 7 years. So I got up every day thinking about diversity and driving equity, right? I mean, that was my role. And so I've spent a lot of time thinking about how we can integrate the disadvantage into our economy. And so to that end, Virginia, when we think about diversifying the life sciences pipeline, for me, it's not just the right thing to do, it's a smart business thing to do. And that's the case I used to make when I was out talking about diversity with companies in my old role. But research, quite frankly, is very clear that teams from diverse backgrounds are more creative and more effective than teams that aren't. How does Project Onramp fit into New Equilibrium's diversity strategy?
It definitely helps with our diversity strategy because it's directly linking to first generation college students in our case, and just it's really bringing us people and who wouldn't necessarily have seen our job ads otherwise. And I find it very useful. I found that having a diverse group discussing it definitely brings in different perspectives, and that's just really useful. And just the way people have more culture to speak up. If somebody like we have our graphics design intern who knows nothing really about computational chemistry except what she's learned through working with us, but because when she comes to discussions, she'll ask questions that maybe somebody else would have been afraid to ask, and it turns out it's a really important question that we should have been thinking about. And so, and she just brings in a design perspective, which is really useful. So it's just having interdisciplinary people is so important in our team, and having, I guess, all kinds of diversity is just really critical for thought. And I think a lot of the really good ideas come from taking something from one field and applying it to another. And so having more people with more experiences contributing to discussions is just really good.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. As a, I served for almost 3 decades in the Navy as a military officer, submariner, and I can tell you that we call it force multiplying, right? That's exactly what you're talking about. How the team is more potent, more powerful than the individual. So that is spot on. And so the final question I'm going to put actually to both of you, and that is, what would you say to a student or a company considering participating in Onramp in 2022, and what do they need to know? And so I'm going to start with you, Sungai. What are your thoughts on that?
For a future student or even a current student, I feel like that what I would tell them is to take the opportunity that is at hand for them. Project Onramp really provides you with that ability to have the connections to create a very powerful network. And I have learned a lot from having a network and getting to build a professional network and seen firsthand the support that you can receive from having a network like that. Like, for example, even during with COVID, when I was not able to do my internship, it was a network that I had that allowed me to end up doing a different remote summer job that was actually more efficient, especially with a lot of the things that was happening in my personal life. So having that professional network is really important, and you have nothing to lose by just taking an opportunity to see if life sciences is a career that you are looking to explore in your future. So that is one of the biggest things I say, take it by the reins and do, pick what best supports you. And, you can make a lot of decisions by joining Project Onramp, and looking forward to a great future.
Terrific. And Virginia, I'd put the same question to you.
I would say definitely companies should take the interns. It's a wonderful program. And one thing I really liked about the application process or the hiring process was how curated the group of students that we were given to consider an interview was. We loved all of them. They were all perfect for the role. And it was very different than other hiring processes where we're kind of on our own. And the group that came in was so much more diverse. And that was something we just really were very glad to have an opportunity to get these people from different experiences and backgrounds on the team. And so it's just been really, really wonderful, and just having like such really curated candidates for our roles who were so excited really helped us. And then throughout it, like having our first person join through Project Onramp, she's just been very encouraging about our culture throughout, and making sure that we keep thinking about diversity and keep thinking about bringing on new like people from different backgrounds. And I just think that that's really great. Like, so the more we get into being having like first generation college students, the more we're going to keep making that part of our values. And I think it's an important value for us to have.
Well, thank you for that. And I thank both of you for what a terrific conversation this morning. I tell you, personally, I'm inspired. This is the stuff that makes my job fun, is when you get out and meet the real people that make Massachusetts great and make our life science ecosystem great. And we, can't help but continue to be leaders in this space with folks like you as part of the Massachusetts Life Sciences team. So thank you, Sungai. Thank you, Virginia. You guys were great. I'm going to turn it over to Sarah for the rest of the program. Sarah.
Thank you, Ken, and thanks to Virginia and Sungai for joining us this morning. My last introduction to make is probably someone who doesn't need much of an introduction to many of you. Zach Stanley is the Executive Vice President at MassBio. There isn't much that happens in our industry that doesn't include MassBio with their incredible breadth and depth of support to ensure that our industry has all of the ingredients we need to be thriving and successful. MassBio has been a partner of Onramp, but even in the early days in whiteboarding and brainstorming this concept and how to meet an industry need, and really appreciate Zach joining us to give us a few closing remarks.
Thank you, Sarah. I am so excited to be here today, and I'm just so thrilled to see the continued growth of Project Onramp. The 128 interns for this summer is really an amazing achievement and milestone. Sarah, as you mentioned, thinking back almost 4 years ago when our former board chair, David Lucchino, gathered together us, Mass Bioed, Life Science Cares, and the Mass Life Science Center to try to think creatively about how we could collectively bring our resources together to help diversify the industry into the future. And this is what we've got out of that collaboration. And every partner here is owed so much credit in making sure this program has been a success. I can't thank Ken and his team enough. Secretary Keneally and the team, the Life Science Cares team, Lila and Sarah have done amazing work, and Mass Bioed and their continued work in trying to create the workforce of the future here. We know the need for workforce, especially in the life sciences, has never been greater. And the estimates right now are 20 to 40,000 new employees in the life sciences in Massachusetts alone over the next 4 years. Where are we going to find that talent? We already know there's a talent shortage. The demand is way outstripping supply. The only way we're going to get there is looking everywhere possible for the best and brightest. and making sure that they have those opportunities to get into industry. Project Onramp is absolutely the model for showing how that's possible. And the growth we're seeing right now is really, really incredible. MassBio is here to work with our 1,400 plus members to make sure that these opportunities continue to grow and that we can make sure that the talent that we know is across the state and coming out of our state's colleges and universities, community colleges, et cetera, is having this pathway, is having this on-ramp into our companies. And for the interns on the call today, you know, congratulations. You are working at not only exciting new biotech companies, you are working at quite literally the best biotech companies in the world. Massachusetts is the best place for the life sciences. So you should be very proud of the opportunities you have to go work at these companies. And I hope you make everything from it. MassBio is excited to host our Project Onramp intern starting on Monday. And we know it's going to be an excellent experience. Just to wrap it up, I just want to thank everybody again for joining today. I want to thank MassBio members again for being part of this. It's so cool to see some of our companies taking not only a few, but over 10 or 16 interns for this summer through Project Onramp. What an accomplishment. I'm proud to introduce now a video that's going to introduce you to a number of the Project Onramp interns for this summer, and thank you all for attending.
Thank you all for sticking with us. Sorry, we didn't hear the music there, but I think you got the sense of the class of 2021, many of who have started their work already this summer. I want to encourage you to follow Project Onramp on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. We will continue to profile these students and their successes as they actually dive into the work in the industry this summer. If you'd like to learn more about Project Onramp, you can visit projectonrampma.com, or you can reach out to Lila or myself or anyone on the Life Science Cares team. We are actively recruiting for summer 2022, and it is never too early to think about how to add incredible talent to your organization. I appreciate all of our special guests today, all of the partners who've made this a success, and all of the hosts and students who've joined to help us kick off what we know is going to be a really, really exciting summer. I wish you all a happy Friday and hope we can all live up to the promise that we see in the students that we know. Thanks everybody for joining.